All right, we are live for another episode of the Blue Crocus Experience, and today I'm joined by Ryan Austin of Birmingham Seal Coat. And you can see that our hats match today because Brian sent me a hat to, got the backwards camera here to go on the contractor hat wall. So I'm proudly sporting the hat there. But Ryan, if you want to quickly introduce yourself, I'll just give a bit of background on how we connected. I think it was mid last year or something through mutual friends. I can't quite remember how we ended up getting connected, but we've been following each other online. I've been watching Ryan kind of tell his story on some different platforms and wanted my listeners to, be able to kind of pull back the covers on what's going on in your life a little bit. And because it's inspired me and I think you've got a really cool thing going on. So if you want to introduce yourself quickly and then we'll just dive into chatting about
Lewis, I appreciate you having me on here. Definitely excited to be here. I think what's really cool about it is the power of social media. We reached out to each other. We connected on so many different levels. And I think the biggest thing is you can really reach a bunch of people on social media and become really good, part of the whole episode of your life. You can actually meet people, they help you. But I think the biggest thing we have is when we meet people online, we can tell if they're real or not. And I think that the group of people that I'm following is I strive to be, and I think that's what's really cool is you surround yourself with good people. What's going to happen is you're going to become a good person too. So I really believe in that. So I try to push my, my word out to everybody and try to help them in any way I can.
I love it. No, and I appreciate you taking the time here with me. Brian and Judd are saying hi. Brian says your setup looks awesome.
Yeah, right. It's coming along, man. It's been a process, and I should be starting my podcast here in the next couple of weeks. I got everything situated, so it's going to be one of those things that when it takes off, hopefully it takes off pretty good. So I appreciate it. So we'll have to have you on the show soon.
I love it. Edward James says, "What's up?" Someone says, "Lewis, when are you joining the 75 Hard bandwagon?" So it says Facebook user, probably from the group. I actually have a story on 75 Hard, which we can chat about because I did do it back in the summer, and I'm excited to chat about that because I know that is where our conversation will circle around to. So let's dive right into it. What makes Ryan? Probably the biggest thing that made me really excited to have you on the show was, you started a Facebook group around people who are on a mission to help people and change the world. And I believe your mission is to touch one person a day. You shared stories within that Facebook group about, paying for someone's groceries, and it just completely changed that guy's life or changed his day and his week and his year. And you're leading by example to do that. I've seen you do stuff in your town, go out and help with some graffiti removal and stuff where people had vandalized some of the community property and stuff like that. But what makes Ryan tick? Like, why is Ryan the way he is?
Well, I'm going to go back a little bit. As a child, I was raised by my grandfather, and my grandfather always told me to, do everything with integrity, always help people that are less fortunate. And even when I was struggling in times of need and I couldn't have, the money to buy different things, I still always wanted to help people. So it's always been my passion. My mom was always one of those people that always did a bunch of stuff for charities and stuff like that. So I grew up around it. But I think the biggest thing is we emulate who we are around, So if I grew up with my grandfather and my grandfather raised me, I want to emulate him because he had such a good success and such a great legacy. So I think my biggest thing is I started this initiative, and it's not something that I just started. I've always been helping people, but my goals are even going farther right now because I want to, with all that's going on with COVID and all this other stuff, I thought it was the perfect opportunity to say, I'm going to start an initiative and I'm going to say, we're going to help one person every single day. And that's my goal. I think sometimes actually the last couple of weeks I've helped several people during the day. And I think that's not with money. That's not with, doing things for people all the time. That's with my words, my wisdom, trying to help people out. But you don't understand how good it is just to call somebody that you haven't talked to in a while and just ask them how they're doing. Because that one little thing, you never know how that person is, if they're struggling or if they're not. Because every time you take that little impression on that person, it's almost like they're rebirthed. You know, it's like they're alive again because they're so excited. They're like, why is this person calling me? Those are just little things that we can do as humans and just really reach out to people because I've really done a lot of that lately, and a couple people actually texted me back and said, Brian, I was having the worst day of my life, and now I'm on your group, and now I'm just it's one of those things that I'm really enjoying this, and I'm looking up to you, and I want to make sure I come on this journey with you. So that group that I have, I really brought it to life because I don't want a ton of people in the group. I want people that are going to make an impact. Okay. So this group is not all flash. It's not like 50,000 people. This group is very detailed. It's going to be people that really want to help people and they've got to be able to do that too. So and that's just I linked you out to Matt Johnson the other day, and dude, that guy is a wealth of knowledge. He's a good Christian, and he's a good person to look up to, and those are things that I want in that group. I want people that are looking to help people on a day-to-day basis. And like I said, it doesn't have to be where you have to go help somebody shovel their driveway, but that's things you can do. It's just helping people with their day-to-day thing. If somebody has a question or if somebody has a concern, help them out. Don't be stagnant. Don't be sitting there doing nothing. But my grandpa, back to my grandpa, is he really, really put a lot of pressure on me as a kid. He always said, you see that person over there, we got to help him. And he would always do those kind of things. And so I just was really brought up, always wanting to help people. I still open doors, for people. Those are things that old school mentality is what we got to bring back. I mean, if you sit there and you slam a door in somebody's face, that's disrespectful. So you always want to, I don't care if it's 7 degrees out and you're holding the door. I held the door for 5 minutes the other day for like 25 people to go at the volleyball tournament. It's like, yeah, is it freezing? No, I would just want to make sure everybody goes in. So those are little things that we teach our kids. And I think that's what's really cool is if you're always teaching, you can make this world a better place. And I think that's why my initiative is to go on this journey, is to try to touch people with all the times that are bad right now. I want to make sure that we can change that. We can reverse that. It's not just, it's not just one person. It's got to be thousands of people. So what I want to do is I want to bring people on this journey. And I think that, I think we got like 85 people on the group. And I'm very excited because 85 people in there are just studs, power people that want to help and make sure that they're lifted up every single day. And I think that's what's really cool about that. The group, for those of you that would be interested in it, the group is the power of helping people. And, we have an expectation in there is if you come to this group, we want you to help. Okay. And we just don't want you to just get the information and take. We want you to step up and we want you to be a part of this. And I think that's what's really cool about this group is we've had some really good people reach out, help you. You even help Matt, you talked to him for a little while and now he wants to do a little bit of coaching. Those are just little tidbits that we push people over the next edge to get to the next level, and now we're going to mentor him,
Yeah, we had an awesome conversation. The guy is fantastic.
So you look at that, you just helped somebody in that group and you didn't even realize it. So like those are things that we just want to do things unintentionally and just help people out. And I think that's what we're missing in this world. So if everybody can just jump on to this initiative and everybody wants to travel and be on this journey, I think it's really powerful. And I think that, I think if we just gave a little bit more, this world would be definitely a better place. So, but I mean, I think I'm such a team-driven person. So, my mission statement for my company, I mean, it's basically outline team. It's like together everyone achieves more. And I think that with this group, we're a team. We want to help people. And you want to talk about 75 hard. I mean, I'm on day 15 right now, and what an awesome group of people that I'm with. On Saturday, I had a Zoom call with Chris Whitehead, and it was basically a 75 hard iconic group. And dude, just listening to the people's stories just made me want to just jump through the screen and just give hugs to everybody, because it's like, I know exactly where you're at and I'm feeling the same way. So it's just these little groups that are helping people. It just makes it better and better. And I think with everything that's going on, I think people are just sick and tired of it, and they want to change and they want to do something different. So if we all can just jump on, it's sky's the limit, you know? So, but
I love that. Yeah. And I put the group in the comments. I think it might have gone to YouTube through StreamYard, but I'll make sure to put it on the comments after the call here. But guys, jump in the group. If you know someone that, is out to leave the world a better place than they found it, go for it. Matt and I had an awesome conversation. I think we chatted for almost an hour. we both were like, okay, I guess we had to stop because we both had previous commitments. But we could have kept talking for a while. And I think I'm going to have him on the podcast as well, because, he's a kindred soul he's doing a lot of stuff to leave the world a better place. And so that was inspiring, and I appreciate you connecting us as well. So walk us through what, the things you're doing on a daily basis. One of the things is working to do things more consistently. But you mentioned, calling people, but walk us through some of the other stuff that you're doing just to talk to people.
Well, I mean, my day starts really early. I wake up at 3:30 every single morning, and people are always like, "Whoa, what time do you go to bed?" Whenever the day's over. I mean, I don't just go to bed at 7 o'clock, 8 o'clock. It's when my kids are to bed, or when I'm done and I'm tired, I go to bed. So anywhere from 10 to 12 o'clock at night. But what I do is I have a routine, and I think that's what I watch, and I know you do too, Glenn Lundy in the morning. It's all about routine. It's having that wake up call early and just getting to it. So every morning I wake up and I go to CrossFit. And I think that's my other team, because I go there and it's like my second family. You go there and it's got that team atmosphere, and you're very competitive. And so I start the day off with a group of, 8 women and 2 or 3 guys. And I think that's where the day starts, because we all can impact each other. So if it's me helping them push that net last rep, or if it's me helping them get through because they don't feel good of doing the workout, we push each other, and we constantly do that. So that's where the day starts. So depending on the day, I could have 1 or 2 or 3 people that I've already pushed to the next level. And I think that's where it is cool is before 6 o'clock in the morning, I'm already touching lives, and I think that's what's best about it is if you can start early, you can impact more and more people on a day-to-day basis. But it's all routine. I have a schedule. I didn't normally. I'm the guy that would never did a schedule. And for the last 3 or 4 months, I've actually put stuff in my schedule, and my schedule is so packed and constantly filled that it makes me take what's important. I have my time for myself. I have my time for my family. I have my time for my business. But you really got to make sure that your schedule is full, because if it's full, you're going to make sure everything's done and it's complete. But then you also have more time because you want to do more. So you're constantly putting more and more stuff in your schedule. I think with me doing that, I can get way more accomplished and more done. But on a day-to-day basis, I'm always doing my walks. Okay. So I have the double workouts for 75 hard. And a lot of the times I've been going live, doing the walks with Ryan in the evening. So I've gone live, and, people have been on there. I've shared some videos. I've shared some food for thought. I'm reading books now. Brian Hess said his goal was 52 books this year. And I said, you know what? I gotta do one up them. So I'm doing 53 now. That's the most books I've ever read. In fact, I don't even think I've read probably 30 books. But I'm on track already. I'm on my 8th book already this year, and wow. I'm on track, and I'm just flying through them because it's just such a big thing of knowledge. And then I feel like when I feed my brain, the more I feed it, the better it is. So I just enjoy reading. Now, if I have time, I sit down there for an hour to an hour and a half and read. But if I don't, I'll put in my audio and I'll listen to books on my earbuds. So when I'm driving, I listen to podcasts. I mean, I'm always constantly trying to educate myself. And I think we get also stagnant of not wanting to learn. And I think once we don't feed our brain, we kind of get this silliness of us, like we're just kind of like lost. And I feel like, me really starting to read a bunch of different books. I mean, I read The Blessed Life. I don't know if you've seen the live, I did a little live video thing my daughter's volleyball tournament a couple weeks ago, and I was reading The Blessed Life, and man, that book is just so powerful. I think I got teary-eyed a couple times. I mean, it was just telling stories I felt like I was reliving my life. Like, he told a story about this guy used to give money, okay, to people that was less fortunate. And then all of a sudden, 3 days later, I'm at the grocery store, and this guy just looks like he's struggling. And so I just felt like I had to do it, because something in my head, and it's kind of weird, because something in my head was just telling me, just do it. Just pay the bill, no matter how much it is. And he had this cart full of stuff. I mean, baby food, diapers, 2 things of diapers, wipes, food for himself. And I'm like, this guy's a pretty young guy. He looked like he just got off work, and I was talking to him, and I said, what's going on? And he's like, oh, I'm just struggling today. I just got in a fight with my wife, and and he was just all distraught. So I just paid his bill, and it was just one of those things that I just broke down, because he literally started crying and said every dollar I had was going to be to pay for these groceries, and that's all I had for the next 8 days. And those are things that, when you think about it, it's like, holy crap, dude, that guy wasn't going to have any money for 8 days. How was he going to survive? And they were probably fighting because of the finances. So, like, those are little things that we can do in this group, and as individuals, and try to help out people, because it doesn't matter if you don't have it or you don't. The power of giving is what gives you everything, and I always say that, a lot of people go broke giving, but what happens after the fact is amazing. And it literally is gifted by God. And I really believe that. And what's really nice too is I just started going back to church in person, and wow, unbelievable. What a difference from being online.
For sure.
Just going in and just having the Holy Spirit in your body. I mean, it's just crazy. I went back last week, and I think I had an out of body experience. I felt like I was not supposed to be there. I was just so floaty,
Yeah.
because it was talking. It was literally, how you go to church and you're just like, they're talking about you. You're just like, wow, I haven't been to church in a long time. And I go in, and all of a sudden they're talking all these things. And I'm like, oh my gosh, they're talking to me. They are, and they were talking about
before you got there.
Dude, seriously, they were talking about joy. And I was like, I was trying to share joy with everybody. And the whole sermon was about joy. And it was just, it got me a little emotional, because it was like, I felt like he was just talking to me, and so that was God saying, hey, we need you here to help all these individuals around us. And because you're such a powerful person, so you need to spread the love of Jesus Christ in this church. And I thought about that. I'm like, yes, you're right. I do have to do that. So those are just little things that are just happening to me. And it seems like the more I push, the more things start to fall in place. If you can understand that, dude, it's crazy.
That's awesome.
It's absolutely crazy.
That's awesome. Yeah, there's a few things I want to pull out of that. I think going back to the schedule, I love that, the time blocking. I think I talked with Mike last week about time blocking and how his schedule is extremely regimented. It's something that I'm working to implement as well. And I do find the fuller I make my schedule, the more time I find to do other little things. It's very odd. It's a very odd thing. But then going to the paying it forward, Judd says pay it forward. Congrats, Ryan. Matt here, he's going to do 54 books. He's going to out do
That's a great challenge. There you go.
And then he says it's called Living in by the Spirit. And he has a Zoom. He'll be back. But yeah, I think that the giving thing is so critical. One of the missions that we have here at Blue Crocus is to give away $1 million to the homeless cause, basically, by 2028, which is, it's a goal that's beyond what we're doing right now, and it's a massive goal outside of ourselves that we've set to do. And the reason I'm making it public is I want to rally other people, just like you're doing, to what can we do to give to the community, to give to people that are less fortunate than ourselves, just like your grandfather was saying, and the returns on that. You're seeing blessings in your life by giving to that guy in the store, pushing the people at CrossFit, reaching out to people every day, talking. I'm blessed by by association, and I haven't even met you, right? Other than through Messenger and stuff. And so that's huge. And that's, we have such a power these days to connect with people all over and to push people to be better versions of themselves and better for the people around them too. So that's awesome. That's awesome. So talk a bit about 75 Hard as well.
Well, let me go back real quick. I wanted to tell you is if you have that goal, if you have that $1 million goal, you got to put it out in front of you, and you got to constantly put it out there, and that holds you accountable. So if you say 2028 and you're constantly talking about it, you have these expectations you got to hit on certain times. So you got to really push forward. You can't just wait till 2007 and say, I'm going to get $1 million. It's not going to happen. You got to start putting this in place, getting your people in place, and getting maybe even some nonprofits involved, because you're going to want to travel and just everybody do this journey together. So, you got to put it out there in the universe. That's why I started this goal, this group, is because I needed accountability for myself, and I wanted everybody else to be held accountable. And I think, when people say, oh, I'm going to help you, or I'm going to do this with you, or I'm going to do that with you, but then they end up saying, well, I'm too busy, or this and that. But when you put it out in the universe and you say, hey, I'm going to do this, and this is what we're going to do together, now if you don't do it, what happens is you're letting people down. Exactly. So you really want to make sure that you put it out there, and you really tell every single person. And I think that's what pushes me every single day to be better and better. And when I said my expectations, I wanted a lot more, but I really want to just touch one person, but I really want to touch hundreds, and I think with getting my story out there and doing the podcast and really bringing others into this and interviewing people, just wait for this podcast. There's going to be tears. There's going to be high fives. There's going to be amazing energy in the room. And I think the biggest thing is we're telling real life, we're going to be telling stories that might impact hundreds of people on one call, and that's what's exciting about it. So, I'll go back on the 75 Hard. The 75 Hard has probably been the most challenging thing I've ever done. And it's not so much the workouts. It's not, the double workouts. It's me holding myself accountable and putting that in my schedule and never veering away from it. Because in a schedule, you can say, well, I won't, do this, or I won't do that, or I'll skip this and we'll go here. No, when you have it in your schedule, you have to do it. So what I did is what's really cool is I'm in the group and I'm doing these lives. So I want to show people I'm constantly out there working out. So, oh, he's doing it again. He's doing it again. He's doing it again. This is what I need to do. I need to do things on a routine basis every single day to make sure it works out. And I think what we get so privy to being content with everything. This group is not about content. It's about going to the next level and hitting that journey and really focusing. So with that 75 Hard, you have to do 2 workouts a day. And one has to be outside. Now, in Michigan right now, it's 16 degrees out and it's snowing. I mean, out by you guys, I'm sure it's about the same, 10, 15 degrees. Yeah. So every single day, I have to go out there, rain or shine, snow, sleet, anything. I have to go out there for 45 minutes. And I put it out there too, and I told a lot of people about it. And everybody's like, well, I'll walk on Saturday with you. I'll walk on Sunday with you. So now I have accountability with these people walking on me, every Saturday and Sunday. So I have to go out and do that. So those are things like with your thing that you're trying to do for $1 million, dude, you got to put it out there, and you got to constantly put it out there and advertise it and do it and try to get connections, because you never know. One person could be that call that you said, I'm going to give you $250,000 because I believe in you and I believe in your passion and I know I want to help you. And those are things that I'm looking for in life. Is I'm looking for those people that just want to go outside the box and really help individuals. And that 75 Hard is just another accountability thing for me to just stay focused and do the routine every single day. I quit drinking over 3 years ago. And so everybody's like, well, I can't quit drinking because 75 Hard, it's easy for you because you're not drinking. Well, I drank for many, many years. And just for me to quit drinking, I was 355 pounds. I was on a downward spiral with my business. I was drinking a lot. And the point was I was like, I'm going to do this and this is where I'm going to go. And I quit drinking. I quit fast food. I quit everything. I started working out once or twice a day like I am right now. And the pounds just fell off because I was focused. And
Yeah.
ever since that happened 3 years ago, my mind has been precise and clear. And it's just been focused to do what I need to do for others. And once I stopped thinking about myself and started worrying about others, that's when my life changed. Because addiction is one thing, but denial is another. So you want to tell yourself, yes, I have this, but I'm going to get out of it. Most people never get out of it. So my thing is I had to get out of it, and I wanted to make sure I got out of it, and because I knew it was going to be better for others, not just myself and my family, my kids. So but those are just little things. So the 75 hard is no drinking. You got to read 10 pages of nonfiction, which is a self-help top book, which is easy for me. I want to read more. And then, you got to drink a gallon of water. And that's the tough part for me. Because if you don't schedule your water, like I'm doing right now, I'm drinking my water, you might not make it. So,
You know what the hard, so I'll circle back around because someone, I don't know, I couldn't see who it was that commented, but they'd asked about mine. I found the workouts not be too hard. I found the water to not be too hard. It was the picture. The picture got me every time because I didn't schedule it in. So I think I got to 21 or 25 days twice consistently. And then I got to a point where it's like, okay, I need to go back to the basics. And I wasn't going to be able to finish it due to our baby coming up, and there were some excuses as well on my part. But I went back to the basics, and I'm kind of now getting into a groove where it's like I'm starting one small habit and building that in. So I've been doing like regularly, like 20 to 40 push-ups every day, 10, 15 pull-ups every day, reading 10 pages of a book. And Judd kind of alluded to the 334 days left. There we are. I've been writing that on my hand, talking, that's how many days are left until January 1st of next year, right? So making every day small improvements. And I've seen some huge leaps because it was the consistency that I could do the workouts, like you said. I could do the water, the reading. It was usually the picture that got me because it in my mind it seemed like a small thing, and I didn't schedule it in and keep myself accountable. And now, I've gone back to the basics and said, okay, Lewis, what is going on here? What do I need to be doing consistently? And that's been huge. Just those small things. So we're on task to start that up again here probably in a couple of months. I've got a few other tasks I want to add to my consistency. But just consistency in anything is so huge.
Well, I'm gonna make a challenge for you because I think that you got to have a date. So I think if you say 2 months, I say I challenge you to start the 75 hard in 60 days and don't quit till you do it. And I think that's the biggest thing you can do is I'm challenging you. So if you can do that, hey, here we go, buddy. And I want you. Right. And the fact is I'll be just almost ending mine, in 60 days. So it'll be. So I think the day that I finish is the day you start. How about that?
I love it. And I'll be adding consistency to it. I'm reading a book called The Slight Edge right now. It's right behind me on the floor there, but it's about those consistent small actions that you either do or you don't. We're doing things or we're not doing things consistently that are hurting us or taking us to our goal, and ultimately, that one person a day that you're touching, which is kind of where we come full circle. That one person or 10 people in a year, you're going to have touched 400, 4,000 people, right? That's
my goal. That's my goal.
That's going to make a big difference. So you got it, dude. I'll take you up on that. I'll carry the.
So it's kind of weird how this whole thing worked out because you said 2 months, it's 60 days, and my end date is in 60 days. So it's day 15 today. So you literally just set yourself up for the biggest challenge ever. So in 60 days, I'm going to be knocking on your door and saying, hey, you said you're going to start. Let's do this. So, and I'll be like, oh my gosh, this was awesome. I'm excited. And I'm going to post it all over the world because I finished it. And I've seen people finish this thing, and just looking at the before and after, because this isn't a boot camp 10 times a day. This is something that just, if you put it in your schedule, you're consistent with it, the pounds just fall off. Mr. Brian Hess, called me the other day, and on a Zoom, we had a training, And he goes, wow, I can see it in your face already. And it was like my face is starting to be chiseled again. So it's like now I got to get rid of all this belly fat. So, it's going to be really exciting.
The goal isn't even that. The goal is the mental consistency, right? And then,
dude, it's all mental. It's all mental because you always want to say, oh man, I really want to quit. It's hard today. Oh, I got another half a gallon of water and it's 5 o'clock. I got to hurry up. Those are things that are pushing you to do those things. And my picture, I set in my calendar and my time to do it right after my second workout. So I know as soon as I'm done with my second workout, I'm taking my shot or I'm taking it while I'm on my walk or, I send a picture. And I think that's the routine and putting things in your schedule that will help you down the road. And if you say, every Sunday, I'm going to spend an hour on trying to figure out how I'm going to make $1 million, you got to put that in your schedule. And every single Sunday, you got to do that for an hour. So, those are little things that will help you be successful and help others be successful, is the consistency, putting goals out there, and really striving to work hard to get to those goals. Because so many times we set a goal and like love losing weight after the first year, and then we fail and then we just quit. This group that I have and these accountability partners and all these people that I want to push to join this journey, we have people to say, hey, it's all right. Let's just get up and do it again. You haven't failed. You just had a minor setback. You got to get back up on the horse and you got to go. And I think that's what my grandpa usually always taught me, because I was so competitive as a little kid, and if my son was down here right now, he's the most competitive kid ever. I'm like, oh my gosh, you're almost too competitive. But he's that kid that is watching me do what I do, and he goes, Dad, you did a really good thing the other day. He's like, I'm going to do that too. And then I get calls from the teachers and saying, Gavin is the sweetest boy. He does this, this, and this. And that's what we're doing, is those kids are constantly watching us and constantly doing us. So when people say, oh, I always want to make a change, and they talk, it's almost sometimes it's in person. You got to do it yourself to make others change, and have people watch you change, so then they feel like they want to be a part of the change. Because success leaves clues, and when you want to become successful, who do you hang out with? Other successful people. And I think that's what people need to do. Is my grandpa always said, Ryan, money's not everything. And he always told me that money's not everything. And I brought that to life, is I don't care about money. All I care about is helping people. Now, with more money, I can help more people. But that's the biggest thing, is you got to take your steps and you got to start working to those to be able to do it. I had a guy about 6 months ago, and he came up to me and he goes, hey, I'm really struggling. I need some money. And, I said, well, why are you struggling? And we talked a little bit, and he's like, well, I did some misfortunate things. I didn't spend my money wisely, and I didn't do this, and I made some poor decisions. And I said, well, what did you learn from that? And he told me, he goes, Ryan, money's not everything. He's like, I should have gripped onto the people that loved me, and I should have just went with that instead of shunning all my family because I was making so much money and doing this and this. Because, as you go in life, if you go alone, you're going to die alone. But if you go with a team, it's going to be an amazing thing. And I think that's really what people need to do, is just really start to help people. Because my goal, I say to help people, but I'm a part of this inner circle and a couple of masterminds, and this is my goal, is to help these small businesses and these people grow and not make the mistakes that I did. So if I can share that wealth with them and say, hey, this is what we need to do, this is what we need to do, those are things that help people not make a mistake that could cost them everything. So I think if we all shared a little bit more of that, the world would be a lot better place. And I think that's really what this group's about. And that's why I really wanted to talk about this group. And I know you really said, hey, let's talk about this group. But it's an amazing thing. And I would hope that eventually, if we have 100 people or 200 people in this group, and they're all touching one, maybe a half a person a day, we're just going to keep multiplying. We're going to keep multiplying. And I think that's really good. But I want to say one other thing, because I know we got to, wrap it up pretty soon. But I had a really close high school friend pass away last week. And
sorry to hear that.
I know you've seen that on my Facebook page, but he was a young guy. He was 39 years old, and he left behind an 18-year-old daughter. And I put a GoFundMe page, and I'll share the link on this, but if you don't mind, Lois. But
Please do, yeah.
I really think that we need to help this 18-year-old, because this 18-year-old, her name's Hannah. She's lost. She lost her pride and joy. This person, Andrew, he adored every little thing about this girl. He did everything. Every time I talked to him, every time I met up with him, he was always saying, "My daughter's playing volleyball. My daughter's doing this. She's doing great. She's doing this. She's doing that." And he really cared a lot about his daughter. So I started this GoFundMe page with my buddy Big Will. And I really think that, we're trying to raise $10,000. We're at like 40 something $100 right now. It's only been a couple days, but I really want to impact this girl, and I really want to touch her, and I really want to give her a gift that she can possibly move on from this, and not feel all that debt and that burden from her dad, because she's going to pay for funeral costs and college and all this other stuff. I really want to help her out. And I think this is something that everybody can do. And I made a challenge with everybody, is if you just gave $5, what's $5? It's nothing. If somebody can just give $5, the power of how that'll multiply by sharing and sharing and sharing and sharing. It's $5. There's people donating $5. There's people donating hundreds of dollars. There's $500, $200. But you know what? If you can just give $5 to this girl, it's going to change a life. And I think that's really what life's about. Like I keep saying, I mean, it's just it makes you feel all good inside. And when you do something good for others, just watch what happens. I just keep getting blessed on a day-to-day basis, and it's amazing how this is working. So, but
that's huge. Yeah, please share the link down below, and I'll see if I can do a live tomorrow and share that out again as well.
I appreciate it.
Yeah. Well, Ryan, this has been awesome. I'd like to make sure we wrap up off air, so don't jump off too fast.
Yep.
But what would you say if someone is not used to giving to people? Because that's kind of been the core theme here, is pushing ourselves to be better leaders, better inspirers, but also directly helping people. What would you say is one or two ways that people can do tomorrow or today? Let's say today. What can someone do if they're listening to this and they're like, man, I want to grab onto that energy that Ryan's putting out there to help people and whatnot? What can they do right now to do that?
I think if you read The Blessed Life, I think it puts it all into perspective. It really breaks things down of giving. It really gives the definition of giving, and it doesn't have to be just about money. And that's what we're also accustomed to doing is I got to give money, or I got to give this, or I got to give that. Just by giving your ear to listen to people might cause that person not to do something stupid. And I think that's really what we need to start doing is just maybe if you were to just get up every single day and say, hey, I'm going to call somebody and I'm just going to listen to how their day's going, and just listen and see if you can pick something out of their voice, because that's what I did at that grocery store with that guy. Is I just listened to his voice and I could just see it was just distraught, and it was lost, and it was just by listening can ultimately be one of those things that will make you change other people's life just by listening. The other is pouring your knowledge into people and trying to educate and train people to where if they want to do something, you got to help them do it. And if you don't even know anything about it, try to help them out by researching it and doing this stuff. But you talked to Matt the other day about, you need to be a coach on this stuff because you're really good at it. Well, guess what? Yeah. You just pushed him to another level, and now he's going to help others do the same thing. And that's just one little way of doing it. But we all say we're always so busy. I keep saying this. I keep bringing this up. Is I don't like when people say they're busy, because you're not busy. You just won't take the time to do it. Because we all make time to do it. If you want to go to the bar, if you want to go to the restaurant, you want to go party with your friends, those are things that you're going to do it. You're going to just do it. You're going to make time.
You make time to eat.
Yeah, make time to eat. Why? I mean, if you want to make time to eat 30 minutes, pack your lunch, take 10 minutes to do that, and take 20 minutes to read, because that 20 minutes of reading is going to help you or bring all that knowledge out and help people. That's what I do with my team. We have such and I want to touch base on this real quick because
Yeah,
my team and my company is by far the tightest knit team because everybody wants to be there. Our culture is just, insane, and it gets better and better each year. When somebody comes in and tries to disrupt it, we push them out. And I think that's what's really cool about it is all the people in my company are striving to be better on a day-to-day basis. And if you can get that culture in your company to constantly want to do better, but you also got to have a leader there that's helping them. So, I always say that I want to lead people, but I want to lead by example. So a lot of leaders, they'll point down on you. And I always post a lot of leadership stuff because I'm big into leadership. And you want to lead by example. You don't want to just point fingers. You don't want to say, you do this, you do this, you do this. You want to lead by example. You want to be that person that's at the front of the war, and you're taking all your guys to battle. And this is how we're going to do it. And I think that people see that in my company, and they see that when they work for me, they're like, yeah, I'm going to go to battle with this guy. And that's all selling a vision of where we want them to be, and if they do what they got to do, they're going to get there. And I think that's what's really cool is they're all striving to be better every single year. And people are, bringing people up. We got foremans that are changing people's lives. If you have a foreman that can change an individual's life and want him to think bigger, what an awesome thing. Those are what our companies are about. Powerful companies is it's the leaders in the company is what grows the company. So we have multiple leaders in our company, and if they all work and they shine, everybody wants to go to battle with them. And I think that's what's really cool about it. And Brian,
you're a contagious force in the company too. I've seen you out, in the field, and the way you talk about your guys too, and that's huge. It comes from the top, and it's really cool to watch.
Yeah, well, I appreciate that. Like I said, you got to make sure that you're leading the ship, and you don't want anybody to jump out unless they don't want to be there. And I think that's because we're gonna keep sailing and keep sailing, and once we get to that land, we're gonna climb that mountain, and we're all gonna succeed. And that's what's cool about it. So
I love it. Well, Ryan, this has been awesome. I know we both have some stuff to catch up on after this, but guys, reach out to Ryan if you're interested in joining the group. The link will be here in the comments. I'll be uploading this as a podcast episode as well. So if you're listening there, the links will be in the stuff about the podcast there. But Ryan, once again, thank you for your time. Thank you for coming on and pushing me to be better. And I'll carry the torch from you April 1st.
Awesome. Sounds good, man.
I love it. All right, just hang out there. We'll end the broadcast and then we'll wrap up.
Sounds good.